Hi, I'm Wendy, and today I'm going to give you some tips on how to avoid knee-jerk responses. Now, are you someone that responds, impulsively? Do you have that knee-jerk response to situations and to things people say? Well, I know that I have done that in the past, and it's something I'm working hard on to try to avoid, to be a little bit more reflective. So today I'm going to give you some tips, things that I have learned along the way, and people that I have seen as well operating who don't have that knee-jerk response. So, I've taken some good tips from them as well. So the first tip is to practice active listening. Now, the first thing we can hear, we can react to. That's not what we want to do. I've said before, we need to listen more than we talk. When we're listening, we're picking up on things. We're getting more information, which might clarify a situation, so we don't need to respond with a knee-jerk response and in a very sort of reactive way. So listen very attentively to what the other people have to say. Pause and reflect before responding. This is a really good tip. Take as long as you like, but I think you need to take at least a few seconds, perhaps even longer. You may even want to come back to someone and say, look, if it's a very sensitive topic, the stakes are high. You might say, I need more time to have a think about this. I don't want to respond with a knee-jerk response. I need to think it through. But certainly take a moment, take a breath, even maybe count to 10, take a few deep breaths, and think very carefully about what you've heard and how you're going to respond to that. Deep breathing and relaxation techniques can help. I just referred to it now. You might like to say, look, I need a moment to gather my thoughts, gather my composure, and think about what I'm going to say. So if you can, take that moment, do that. And if it helps to do some deep breathing exercises, any of the relaxation techniques, mindfulness exercises you might have learned, to just slow things down, calm yourself a little bit so that you can be a little bit more reflective and thoughtful in your responses rather than being a knee-jerker. Okay, separate emotion from fact. Sometimes these two things can get very mixed up and jumbled up together. So we need to really ask ourselves the question, is this a fact? Is it verifiable? Is it actually the truth, or is it just emotions talking here? So we need to ask those questions, and you can do those perhaps if you have a moment to sit back and reflect as well. Consider the consequences of your knee-jerk response. So think about that in advance. Think about how you're going to respond and what the consequences could be. Because with every action, there is a reaction. There is some type of consequence. There's never really a neutral consequence as such. So if you're going to respond impulsively, then you can expect that the consequences could be negative for you. They may not be what you want. So just think that through a little bit. We don't have control over what other people think, but we can control how what we say and how we accept what other people say as well. Seek clarification, ask those clarifying questions, try to paraphrase, summarize to make sure that you have totally understood what the people are saying before you respond. So that's another way of avoiding that knee-jerk response. Set some boundaries if it is urgent. If people are wanting you to respond in a very urgent manner, you may need to set some boundaries and to talk about your expectations and say, look, this is not something that I can respond to. It's not something I want to respond to at this moment. I do need some time and some reflection on this, or perhaps I need to go and talk to other people. I need to check out the facts, get some more information. So perhaps it might be a good idea right from the outset to set some clear expectations and boundaries. Consider that everyone will have different perspectives as well too. So look, I hope that helps the next time you're in a situation. Perhaps the emotions are a little bit high. Just think things through, take that pause, take that break if you need to, set your clear expectations and boundaries, and think through the consequences of what you're about to say. I hope that helps you to not be responding with knee-jerk responses each time.